Hi, my name is Sally Bernard, an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer. Welcome to Call Me Zena, a true story into the spiritual realms. Join me as I sit and discuss the journey of self-discovery, and with the help of my spirit guides, it's time to trust your intuition. Sit with me and call in live 888-994-4995, Studio A. And now onto the show.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. And as I'm sure you know by now, it's Earth Day, and I show, as you know, please call in. I'm here to answer your questions, but I think the subject today is definitely gratitude. I just want to explain a little bit about myself. I don't often do this, but I'm also an artist, and you can see my art behind you. But I actually am in some sort of a trance. I'm not even aware of it myself, but how I know this is because I don't always know what I'm saying, but a lot of what I'm saying, and I'm not special, and I absolutely want to tell my audience that we all have the ability to do this, but I've tapped into something, and I'm able, once I'm on my show, to answer any questions. So that's why I say please call in, or anybody in the studio audience that has anything to ask me. I am able to do this. Do I know how? No, but you know what? I trust what I say. So I don't often explain this because I can't even, as you guys know, Freddie and Dawn too, it's hard for me to even give my email out because I am at a different place. So please call in. If there's anything that you want me to answer, I'll do the best that I can with the help of my guides to answer this. Thank you.
Sally, first question. Do we all have the ability to do what you do?
I believe absolutely. I often say that I don't have the ego because I don't want that to come forward. I believe that I am not special. We all have this ability. I only tapped into this maybe 20 years ago, and I'm certainly up there in age. I don't give my age out, but I've been on this earth a little while. But I believe as long as we believe that we can do this, anything that applies to anything, we're able to do that. I believe now, and I've been doing this show for over a year and a half, that I can do this because my guides come in and answer me. But I have to have the question that was going to bring me up to something else. I often wonder, why do I need that question? I spoke to someone through a friend of mine here, asked me to speak to a girlfriend of hers. I spoke to her for 5 minutes, and it left such an impact on me because we were talking. I've never met this lady, but she said to me she's been living with someone in California for 2 years who has a very similar, something has happened to her as it has happened to me. But she can go and talk in front of 2,000 people, but she's slightly, she gets a little bit nervous sometimes, but she's not, because she said the moment she's asked a question, she can answer anything. And what I realized within that 5-minute conversation, that's actually who I am too. I don't now think about, am I going to be able to do this? As long as I can bring in what I believe, my guides, I can answer your questions. And suddenly I'm hearing somebody else that says they have to have that question. It left such an impact on me because how it works, I don't know. I'm just receiving it, but I need the question for me to be able to give the answer. And anyone that's watching my show and my friends say, but you don't even think about it. I don't, because it comes to me immediately, the answer. It's not me. It's not me. They're working through me, and that's what's very important. So here we are, questions, anything that you want to ask me. I brought in my guides, and I don't often mention that, but my guides are all around me. So anything that you want to ask me, I'm here.
Well, since it's Earth Day, when we first met you, you came with a different calling. It wasn't as personal. It was more about the collective in the universe and what's happening on this planet. What do you find is happening? What are they telling you with Earth Day? Are people becoming more cognizant of what we need to be doing, or are we missing the boat?
No, we're not missing the boat, as long as we realize we may be missing the boat, if that makes sense, okay? It's really important to see our surroundings and what's going on. I truly believe, and I'm not aware of it because I have to watch my show. I don't know what I say on this show unless you give me a little bit of what's happened, and I'll remember that segment. But it's really, really important for this. I've lost myself. Give me the question slightly again.
About Earth Day and the universe.
Yeah, the show, and you've known me now for over a year and a half, has taken a different dynamic, the word is, because I believe that more people are watching my show, they're listening and they have questions, but the questions are taking a different, it's like they're taking a different route, so to speak. It's getting deeper. Whoever my guides are, and I know obviously who know my show, one is definitely Aldo, but they bring in, just like I bring in my guests, one person, a guide may not have all the answers. It's not that different from here. So they'll bring somebody in, or they're aware of it, and they'll come in and give the answer. It's taken a different road, and I think both you and Freddie have seen that, especially over, I would say, the last 6 or 7 weeks. My only explanation, it's gone deeper into what I'm doing. I don't know if you feel that, but I feel that we're getting, I don't know, it's hard for me to explain it, but all I can say is we're going deeper into what's happening. That's the only way that I can.
Universally, politically, governmentally?
Not so much with politics, because I steer away from that because it causes a lot of, let's say, friction or this and that, but we're getting deeper into the understanding of what's going on. Mother Earth, and this is what the show should be about today, because we're talking about the gratitude for Mother Earth. I believe that we all get these messages. We don't all act on these messages. I learned something today from the lady that was on the show that was cooking. How much, I know don't use plastic because it's killing everything around us. But until she actually spoke about it, I realized how important it is not to put the things that are recycled into one bin and the ones that aren't, put them in another. I don't do that as often. And I understand because they've been talking to me, but I'm very, very aware of it. And that's the same as my show. I'm very aware that there is something greater than ourselves. It doesn't, if it's religion, it doesn't matter what it is. Just know that there is something in a collective, I hear from a collective, greater than what I'm able to talk about. Raise our vibrational energy. That's what's so very important.
If we raise the vibrational energy, we can help protect this planet.
Everything, Dawn, everything. We protect ourselves. We will protect the people that we love. Even though they may not even believe it, I believe, and I often say, and I always talk about positivity, but this is a good reason why we need to be positive, because once you raise that, we're energy, that's what I believe, so that energy rises. If it's not, and you feel like let's say a dark cloud over something, then question it, say, what is this? How can I get rid of this? It could be a number of reasons, but I believe now when I feel something, I trust that I am feeling something that I'm meant to figure out and raise that energy. It's important, very important.
Bless you.
Bless you. Well, there you go. I talk about sneezing. How often have I sneezed on my show? Well, who sneezed? Was it? Okay, it's important. That sneeze shows me that my guides are around. I'm usually the one that sneezes, so that's great. That was validation.
I'm not quite sure what type of questions I should be asking you, but I guess I'll just touch on what I was speaking about this morning. Myself, and I'm sure a lot of people around my age, are at a transition point in their lives. I'm about to graduate, and I've had quite a few different jobs. I've been working since a very young age, so I guess I would just like to ask your guides what kind of professional, creative, or life path they would see for me. I know you don't know me, but I guess.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It actually sometimes helps when I don't know anything.
Yeah.
So your question is where you may be going from here on in?
Yeah.
Okay. And I was just saying this to a friend of mine who was sitting here. Follow deep down in your heart. And it's a very similar message to what I just gave this friend of mine. People around you may try to say, well, that's not right. You need to do this or that. Go deep in with yourself. And I think you actually have mapped out something that you want to do. Sometimes we get sidetracked, but be true to yourself, whatever that may be. I've got some idea, but follow that. You will get people along the way, and this happens to all of us, but I think you in particular will try to lead you in another direction. But your true self, your true meaning is what means something to you that's really important to you, you won't go wrong with that. Follow your heart, but believe that, and then you'll see that you're going to succeed. Definitely. And I've said this too, because often when people ask me questions like this, they are at a crossroad. I believe you are at that crossroad, but take the path of what is truly in your heart. Does that make sense to you?
I don't quite know what is truly in my heart. I mean, I know ideally what an ideal world it would be like, but the worldly material things kind of
I think it's some form
limit
of
that dream.
communication, if that helps you. You need to be in communication. I'm getting that, and I feel that very strongly from the way that you talk and in your voice. It's definitely communication, if that helps you at all.
Yeah, I'm a writer.
Oh, okay, there you go. Okay, then I believe that's the path that you should be taking.
As things always come here as they should, right? The right people always
Absolutely.
come here who should be here at the right
Absolutely,
moment.
and just to say, we had not met, so I did not know that. But I go, and this is how it's helped me. And I have given messages to people. Again, I'm not alone with this. We can all do that. But I listen, and I just get a feeling about something. So I go with my gut, with what the first thing. It doesn't necessarily have to make sense to me, but that's how I'm able to give these messages, as you know, too, Dawn. And that's the message that I have.
And it's Passover, right? We're going into a full moon. There are no coincidences. We always say as it falls on Earth Day. What are they telling you is the meaning of this year for Passover? Because for many religions, we celebrate this moment.
I see that too. I'm not into organized religion, but that doesn't mean to say that I don't believe. I am Jewish. And I was talking to a friend of mine here who was telling me that Jesus, I'm open to anything. It doesn't matter what religion. And Passover is about the Last Supper, which we were discussing. And that's really important because there's meanings behind that. It doesn't matter what you believe or what religion or what color or race. It's the message behind it. So as a Jewish person, I see the Last Supper as a Passover, which it was. But I don't completely understand it because I've never really gone too deep into it. But I know that Leonardo da Vinci, which we were discussing earlier, painted the Last Supper. But and I believe that Leonardo da Vinci he understood a lot of this. So if I'm right, this is what my guides are telling me, he had put a woman, which again, am I here to analyze this whole thing? Absolutely not. But I believe that it's important for all of us, be it Jewish, be it Christian, it doesn't matter. Let's all come to, the message is, okay, I'm gonna make this simple. The message is let's all come together. It's a day or an evening that's about something. Let's all try to understand what it's about. We may have different ways of understanding it, but let's all pull together. It doesn't matter religion, color, where you're born. None of this matters. What matters is that we're all together on Earth Day, okay? And that's very strong for me.
Amen. You have a caller.
Hi.
Let's put
Hey there. Hey.
I think I recognize it. Hi, Pete. Am I correct?
It's Peter here, your favorite.
Okay, Peter. What is your question today? Thank you for calling.
Here's the question.
Okay.
Here's the question. There's absolutely nothing like it, but my brain falls asleep. Do you think it's some kind of spirit thing?
Okay, we're getting a
Pete,
lot
I
of...
think you're breaking up. Can you give us a call back so we can get a clearer connection?
Yeah, I'll call you back.
That was
Thank you.
perfect just now, but it was difficult to understand him.
All right, so he's going to give us a call back. So while we're talking about guides and all the things that's happening,
I got one.
Freddie, okay.
I got one. We have a new artist is in studio, a new singer. There's new people coming in because, school is changing over and everything else. And I'm curious about this one. And she's sitting right over there. She's a singer. And I'm curious to see what you see for her future.
Is this Alicia here? You don't mind my name? Or your daughter? Okay, I feel very strongly about this because I believe, and I kind of know what I talk about when I'm in this specific, in a trance, but not when I leave this. But I'm feeling that I definitely gave you messages about music coming here. That is very important, I think, for the studio to recognize these people. They're up and coming stars, as I feel it. But you are here to give them that. You're on the right track. I've been getting a lot of messages about the studio here having many people singing, whatever it be it the piano. You know that, guys. I've been saying that, and I feel very strongly. So you are an up-and-coming artist. That's my message for you. I can't wait to hear you sing. Hi.
I think Pete's back on the
Oh,
line.
hi, Pete. I'm sorry about the interruption, but we were getting interrupted. What is your message? Oh, your question? Hello?
Yeah, the question is, nothing's wrong with my brain whatsoever, but I'm never falling asleep. So what do you think is going on? A lot of psychic stuff or what?
You're never falling asleep? You mean like maybe an hour or two?
Never.
Okay.
Never
You are
falling
sleeping.
asleep.
You are sleeping. Okay, believe it. You are sleeping. You may not be getting the sleep that you need. Okay, your mind is very active and it's trying to take over a lot of things. However, I know, and you may not understand this, but you tell me sometimes about your dreams.
I do have it.
Okay, so know that you are sleeping. Rest, take your mind off everything when you go to bed because your mind is very, very active, Pete. You need to quieten your mind, okay? You understand a lot, and I feel that and I know that. So put that all aside and sleep because that's very important to you, okay? But just know you are sleeping. There's no such thing as no sleep. Does that make sense?
I seem to be dropping down to the floor in some parts of the day, but not sleeping at night. So what do you think?
Change your mind. Change your mindset on that. Don't sleep during the day. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but go to bed and know that you're going to go to sleep. And you are, yes, that's what you have to do. Just know that you have to do that. Don't sleep during the day. Okay?
All right,
You're welcome.
thank you very much for the answer.
Thank you.
It's like when you have children, right? Babies. You have
Yeah.
to keep them up during the day.
That's what, with him too, yes. We all sleep. Sometimes, you can wake up in the middle of the night and say, oh, I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning, but it's already 5. It doesn't mean that we haven't gone back to sleep. This happens to me. I say, I've been up all those hours. No, I haven't. Sometimes I fall back to sleep. We're not always aware of that. So we can't go without sleep. We wouldn't be around if we had no sleep. It's not easy, and some of us have patterns where we sleep 2 hours, wake up and sleep. But we can't go days without sleep. It just doesn't happen, I don't think. I mean,
We sleep more than we realize we do.
absolutely, absolutely.
You have a question?
Do you have
over
a
here?
question?
We're in first quarter. We just finished first quarter. People with new businesses. I've noticed a shift. A lot of people have left, apparently, to go back up north. I went to the beach on Sunday, and it was empty. On a Sunday. That doesn't happen unless people started going back up north. I want you to let me know, what is the temperature? What does it look like the future for business in Florida is looking like in the next quarter, in this quarter?
Okay, whoever shows up here is meant to be here. I'm feeling that. I mean, if you really think no, we're out of the season, as they call it. The snowbirds have gone back. I mean, I've been here long enough, and I was in the travel industry for many years, so I understand that. But we are, although we're not aware of it, we're always in the right place at the right time. But even if it's not what we think, it's what we're meant to hear. So whoever shows up here, Freddie, the opportunity, you're gonna feel it, okay? And if you feel that, no, this wasn't the time, the fact that they're showing up when it's out of season, you're not going to get that many people, but the people that are going to show up now, I believe, are important for you. It may be something different to what you even felt, but I believe that whoever enters the cafe out of season is meant to be here. Not everyone you're going to get a feeling, but the majority of the people that are they're just going to show up out of the blue. They'll say, and we've had that before. I was passing, I was drawn in here. You're going to see that more often now. Over the next month or two, you're going to get people come in. I don't even know why I'm here. They're in the right place.
That was Friday night.
There you go. So it's already started to happen, okay? There you go. You know, I mean, I'm not saying, oh, you see, I'm always right. I don't want to do that. But somehow I'm being led to give you the right answers, okay? There you go. It doesn't, I mean, it surprises me actually more than anybody else. I say, oh my God, I gave you that message. But it's the way it's meant to be.
Do you think artists, I want to go back to The Last Supper. Do you think they were visionaries and got messages to, because obviously Michelangelo wasn't at The Last Supper, right? He wasn't there. But to understand what he brought forward.
I actually do. I was not an artist, and obviously my creations are behind me and many different things. So I got more into understanding art. When I started to paint, I didn't know anything about artists. But I've listened to Leonardo da Vinci, his story and the Da Vinci Code or whatever, I can't remember, the demons. He knew so much. Artists are a little different. I believe that sometimes, and not every artist, but they are what we will call out of the box sometimes. So when I listen to what they call his demons, and Aldo, whoever knows me, they know about my guide Aldo, explained to me that there were episodes when actually Leonardo da Vinci, and I'm not sure, please don't quote me on this, he disappeared for a little while. So I'm interpreting that he was given messages. Maybe I don't know where he went, maybe he just needed that stillness, as artists sometimes do. But I think that a lot is shown in artwork, a lot. We just don't always notice that. I mean, my art, especially now, I said to people, because I don't know what I'm drawing, and someone said to me, organized chaos. But it was good that they actually pointed that out, because I can't always interpret my art, but it looks like organized chaos, right? So sometimes other people see in your art what the artist might not necessarily see.
But I think they definitely are in touch, in tune with different ideas, different guardians and guides.
Absolutely, because a lot of inventions, you think about it, they're drawing maybe on whatever it is, and it's some form of invention. Where is that coming from? I believe it's coming from a different place. But it starts with an idea or imagination. And if you put that onto paper, that comes as maybe a new, whatever they want to do. It may be a new invention of some kind. Mine, I can't believe that this would be an invention, but I'm inventing myself as I do that. So yes, I think not only artists, writers, authors, actresses, actors, they all coming from because they're able to take someone else's, say it's an actor doing an autobiography on somebody, they're taking over that part. They're actually meshing with that person. So there has to be more to this. There's more to this, I believe anyway.
Oh, that's what your collective says. And what do my guides tell you today?
They're very quiet today, Dawn.
Because I'm so chatty today.
Yes, no, they're very quiet. You know, I never get stuck with you. You know that.
No.
I mean, stuck with you, that's fine. But believe everything that you believe, okay? Even if all around you, I think Shakespeare said that, you know, may not fit in. Keep to your true convictions of things. You have a lot of people working for you, Dawn, a lot. And it's, you know, sometimes when you question yourself, and I have all the fairies around you right now. I feel that very strong. We were talking about fairies, okay? They're here to guide you. I felt that when we first met. I was compelled to give you a fairy book. So this is, maybe it's imagination, it doesn't matter, but I feel it's very real, okay? So they're all, the little ones they're telling me the little ones are around you right now.
The little ones are always around me.
Yes, the little ones are
And
around
Elizabeth?
you. Elizabeth is always here with you too. She tries to sometimes lead you into your past lives, okay? And she wants to give you information. This is important. She wants to give you information because we have had, as far as my belief, and again, you don't have to believe me, but I feel very strongly that we've had many, many lives. because I was drawing from past lives and I'd never seen these things. So to me, it's very strong. But they bring in what we take from, we can't take in our lives and bring them all here, but the important aspects of our, this is a message for you, we take from other lives to bring them in here to help us, maybe through karma or whatever. They're working very hard with you right now from another lifetime. You don't have to remember everything, but the messages you are getting are very important for this lifetime for you right now. And that's what Elizabeth is saying.
And you do past life regressions as well.
I do.
So how does that work if people were to call you?
Just either come into the, I like it more in, I can do it over the phone, but I like to feel someone's vibrational energy. Can I feel that over the phone? Yes. But anybody that's local, even further away, please come in. We have the studio here where I can give you messages. If it's messages you want or a past life regression, very happy to do that. I'm getting deeper into my work today. I feel that again, if someone shows up, which I'm telling you too, it's not coincidental. That person is meant to be here at the right time. So if you want to call in or ask me anything and you want to meet me in person, please come to the Brooklyn Cafe. I'm here if you're local. Obviously, if you're not, it's difficult. Do I get on the airplane to fly here? But you might be visiting someone in Florida.
You hypnotize them, or it's a conversation? What's the process?
It's more conversation. I will take them back, and I do it mainly through energy, because when I do a past life, I like to myself bring in the energy onto paper, but I will get the messages through that. And after that, I give them the piece of paper. I did this a long time ago, but I'm feeling now that I need to bring this more into the forefront again. If I'm giving someone a message, either I will paint, well, not necessarily paint, I will sketch on a piece of paper. Through energy, I'm able to do that. Can I do it without? Yes, because I'm doing it now and I'm not drawing. But I think my drawing has helped me come into what I'm meant to be doing, because it's energy. It's just pure energy. That's
and then the messages you get for the client are to help them go forward into this lifetime.
Yes. Be it something that I feel that I was just giving you that message from another lifetime. Actually, just to explain that a little bit, just because we think that we've got over something here, we may not, because it will show itself again in this particular lifetime. If we're not quite solved the problem, it'll show up in a different, it'll come into this lifetime in a different scenario. But it doesn't just apply with what we're doing in this lifetime, that we think we've gotten over it, and we may not. It also comes in from other lifetimes. It can show up. Can it skip a lifetime? Yes. But if you keep getting, they say that saying, and if you keep doing something over and over again, but there's a reason that we do that. But we also, it's called insanity. No, it's here to, that just came to me. They're giving me the word insanity. But it's important, because even if we think we've settled a problem or a person, place, or thing, it'll show up if we haven't quite got rid of that. Whatever it is, it will show up in a different scenario, but it will show up. It will show up again, because we're on a learning path. And it's a lesson that we're meant to learn. We choose it ourselves. We have free will. But if you want to continue on this journey, I believe that we have to listen to our instincts and what we need to learn.
Have you ever found out somebody has an unbelievable past life, like someone of your past life caliber, and you say, holy smokes, can you believe you were this person?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily that proud of who I was, but
you were a prominent.
I was, and I don't often mention that. But I was very stubborn, because my guide here, actually, I'm sorry, I just feel, yeah. Okay, can you just bring it back to me, Dawn? I'm sorry.
If you find out someone is of a prominent life, or back to biblical times, or maybe someone was at the Last Supper, and you find this out, how do you give it a message that's so great?
Well, I believe, from the lifetime that was, let's call it a prominent lifetime. I've met many people in this life that were from that life. But what really brought this home to me, I didn't believe in past lives. Maybe after 20 years back, yes, because that's when Aldo started to talk to me. So it's been 20 years. But he was telling me things, who I was in another life. That's my guide. And I'm saying to myself, but I don't know, but I'm drawing from that life. So I needed that validation. I described my bedroom from that lifetime. He was in that life with me. And I looked it up because it being a prominent lifetime, I was a well-known person in that life. So there it was on the internet, things that I didn't know that I knew, but I'm bringing back pieces of that. I'm not alone with this. We all do that. We just may think we're going crazy. I don't know. But I began to, once I'm seeing my drawings from that, I've had many lives, but that one was an important life. So he was here to open up my mind to that lifetime.
I got a quick question. So recently, and this is strange because it's only at night, I'm overcome with a lot of anxiety about
I knew you were going to say that.
each and everything. Why is this happening?
I'm actually going to say grief. I feel that you're getting a lot of grief, which is causing anxiety. The first step to get rid of that is to be aware that this is happening to you. And Alicia just had a program on breathing. So breathe through this. Please breathe through it. It's very important. You're getting messages. Understand those messages. I suffer myself even today from anxiety sometimes, but I'm learning to go through it because this too shall pass. You get it, you said at night, am I correct?
Yes, only at
Because you're quietening your mind. So all these things are coming up. Breathe through it. I'm going to say try and learn through that because we get messages that we need to. It's anxiety with, I feel that there's grief there too, whatever it be, but that's what's causing the anxiety. Be aware of it. You've started your journey now of getting rid of that.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's take a commercial break.
I see you back in a few minutes. My story starts at 4 or 5 years old. My name is Sally Bernard, and I was born at the end of the Second World War, in the middle of an air raid siren going off. My parents were in a movie theater, and my mother went into labor. My father ran out of the movie theater, but there was no cabs to be available because everybody is running for cover. However, they found one, and the taxi driver was given the address to take my father and my mother to the hospital. As my mother was in labor, about a half an hour, I arrived at exactly midnight. I think I was fed messages at a very early age. My parents used to like to play cards, and they had a card game every Wednesday or Thursday night at home when I was a baby. And I actually said to them one day, why do you keep waking me up at night? The card game is waking me up, and I can't get back to sleep so quickly. And they looked at each other and they said, we're not really waking her up. They were quite away from my bedroom. And they called in a psychic to say, what in the world is going on? And the psychic said that I'm getting many messages that are waking me up at night. I thought whatever I was experiencing, other people were experiencing too. You don't know until you realize that you are different. Many things were happening to me, things that were unexplainable to me. What I had dreamt was happening. I could sense many things, and the things that I was sensing were coming about, but something was going on. I will explain to you everything. You're ready.
A true story, Call Me Zena, is the telling of Sally Bernard. Born in London, England at the end of the Second World War, she came to the U.S. in 1979. A mother of two and grandmother of four, she settled in Florida and worked in real estate. While going through a difficult time in her life, she was admitted into a hospital overnight in December of 2005. While settling back into her life, she began having vivid dreams and documenting them. By the third dream, a lady gave her a message to draw. With no artistic background or interest in art or history, Sally listened to her dreams and grabbed paper and crayons. Today, she has over 150 pieces of inspiring art and poetry. This book follows her journey and interpretations of these messages. She describes in detail how she's able to astral project and who she has met along her travels, including her spirit guides. This book will show you how anything is possible with an open mind. These events have changed Sally's life's direction, and this book will show you how to change yours. Purchase Call Me Zena on Amazon today.
Thank you for joining me through this journey of self-discovery with the help of my spirit guides. I'm Sally Bernard, and you can find my book and artwork by visiting artbysallybernard.com. Now back to the show.
Hi, welcome back to my show. Please feel free to ask me any questions that you want. I'm here for the next half hour, and I will be back next week too. So anybody in the studio wants to ask me something?
Sure, I guess I'll ask another one. Well, I guess I was just talking with Freddie about the lack of direction thing, like I spoke with you about at the beginning of the show. So would you say that there's any signs from a past life of mine that would help give this direction? Yes.
You were a scribe in one of their lifetimes. I believe they wrote down certain things where people weren't reading and writing the way that we were. We're going back a few centuries ago, but you're bringing forth that communication and your writing, which I did not know, very much into this lifetime. Every time you say, well, sometimes writers go, oh, I don't know, am I on the right track? Ask yourself, because deep within you, you have the answer on that. I believe that you will succeed absolutely with communication. I believe it's writing. It could also be in front of people talking, but it's definitely a form of communication is where you're meant to be. And it is left over from another life. A scribe is coming to me.
Thank you.
What would you think about we give you a piece of paper and see what you come up with?
Okay.
Should we move the table for you?
No, I can do it. It's fine, I think.
Because we've talked about this for a long
Yes.
time.
I need probably something a little heavier, though. I can.
There's
Okay.
a magazine right there.
Yes, that would be good. Because it's not that I can do it without. I've been doing it for a year and a half, but I feel that I get a stronger feeling, actually, because I like to give what I've given, what I talk about to that person, and they carry it. I've had some thank yous on that. They carry my art. It's not really art. It's like vibrational energy with them, especially when they're going through a crisis or they're a little low. They take out, and I have a few, I've kept the emails from people thanking me. I did this many years ago, but I feel it's coming back. I'm getting the message that I need to do that, and I definitely need to do that with you right now. But continue talking, or anybody, I'll still do it. It may just be symbols or signs, but it carries the energy.
Symbols or signs?
No, your question doesn't have to be about that, but what I'm drawing. No. That's just me. Do you have another question, or anybody?
Another question.
Okay.
Sure, I guess maybe, I know you said communications and speaking, but would that be from a place of experience? Would that be from a place of creativity and fiction? Would it be a mixture of both?
It's a mixture of both, okay? Because what we know in this lifetime may not have related in the other lifetime. What you were doing, you're bringing forward into this lifetime, and it has a greater meaning than it did, if this makes sense to you, on that lifetime. But we carry over a lot of who and what we were in our other lives. We bring forward into each lifetime what we've learned, not everything, but the significant things that we've learned from another lifetime. You're bringing in this communication, speech. I sense that just from your voice. I feel very strongly about that. It could even be acting, actually, but I believe it's more into writing, but communication is acting too. But you have the answers with that. But you're on the right track if you follow that particular. Now, if you do something different, that's okay too. But my message for you is to be aware of that, if that makes sense to you. Actually, I'm not going to do this right now because there are other questions, but I'll be happy to just give you this little bit. But it's more in a private
Sometimes people don't realize where they want to be, or where they want to go, or what's going to be next, or what even tomorrow is going to bring. But isn't acknowledgement of not knowing what's going to happen next, isn't that better than going backwards?
Yes, it is. because we're becoming aware of what, where, and what we're meant to be doing. I could tell you, and it doesn't even really make sense to me, but everything that's going on is the past, the present, and the future. But once we become aware of that, we're taking from our past, we're also taking from our future. This is just coming to me. It's hard to explain. And the rain came down. It's pouring with rain, okay? So the most important part of this is we only have right now, we hear people talk about the now. Bring into your now to make the next now what we're aware of. The most important actually is awareness. Be aware. Be very aware of our surroundings and what's going on, and you will receive messages in what we call the now that takes us to the next now. It's all happening at once. Can I explain that? No, because that's way up here. Our mind won't accept that. Even though I'm getting messages, we can only take in what we're able to. We can call it dimensions where we're meant to be. So let's look at it like we were climbing up a ladder. We're here, and I can't go much higher than I'm meant to go because I'm only at this level. I've opened up myself enough to go a little bit higher. And we've often said that my guides even come down a little bit to talk to me, but it won't make sense. I have to make sense of what I'm talking about. So although I may be a little higher up, I won't even understand what I'm saying if that makes sense. So we have to just be aware of all this. Be aware that there's something greater than us going on that can lead us and put us on the right track.
Well, a journey into the unknown doesn't mean the end of it. Sometimes the unknown is the beginning to something you're going to discover. Just because you don't know it today doesn't mean you're not going to discover it, correct?
Perfect example, because I was thinking back. I saw one of these old movies, and of course there wasn't the iPhone or the phones, and I'm going, my gosh, 50, 60 years ago, look how far. Just take technology that we've come. But if you don't know, it's all our imagination. I don't know what's going to be 20 years from now. We can think of things, but it hasn't been put into our now. So, and I go very much with the phone. Who would think that we could talk? Yes, Star Trek and a lot of these, there were people that could see into the future. It's what we call the unknown. So we call it the unknown, but when it becomes known, something else, oh my gosh, they've opened the heavens for us, it's pouring, becomes known, and it goes on and on and on. Look how far we've come in 50 years, 60 years.
Well, it goes to show you, Mom, you got a mom in the studio, her daughter is singing. She doesn't know the level or how far in advance her singing can take her.
So we have to take that first step, because you are a singer. But if you didn't sing a song, you wouldn't know you're a singer. So we need to take what we feel inside us that we can do. It's gifts that we get, and I'm going to call it from God. We get gifts. We need to use those gifts, because then we accelerate in our gift. I'm sorry, I'm happy I do my show, and I've been doing it for 1.5 years. This, I feel I should have started many, many years ago. I feel very much at home. I love talking on your shows. You've seen that. I didn't know I could do that. I wanted to do it, but I didn't know until I started. I feel very much at home, and I'm very aware that I can do it. I did not know that 20 years ago. I didn't know I was an artist 20 years ago. But I took from myself what I may not have even been aware, but what I felt I felt scribbling. I said, oh my God, I'm scribbling, it looks to something. So I followed that. We need to follow our own intuition about things that we don't know. It's the same as what we don't know what's going to happen with things that we don't know about. It's all within us. It's all within us. We have to take that first step.
So Sally, Steve wrote in, he says, nearly 20 years ago when Aldo showed up for you, did you have any inkling about what direction your path would take, and was it difficult to accept his guidance?
No, it was never difficult. I didn't understand, Steve, if you're listening, as you know, I never understood. But had I have not listened, I wouldn't be where I am today. I was ready to open up. What he talked about did not make sense to me in the beginning, how the world started. I mean, he was very, very advanced, as you know. He's talking about the first settled people here on Earth. It was way beyond what I thought I could understand. But I followed it. I listened, and I listened to all the programs that he told me to listen to. He would stop them and explain it. Sometimes I felt overwhelmed, But today, and I feel very much that Aldo's here, not everything, I've still got ways to go, but he's still talking to me, he's still learning. I opened up. If you don't open up, you're not going to hear it. If you open up and you want to accept it, then for me, I could not stop thanking this man now for what he was able to teach me. I was ready. You have to be ready. If you're not, then it's not going to make sense.
And you are passionate about that.
Very passionate, because I can talk and talk to somebody. I'm not referring to anybody in particular, but if they don't want to listen, that's entirely up to that person. If you're not ready, I can't make someone ready. If they're in my path, I feel maybe they're ready to listen to me, but I can't. I listened to him. I didn't understand him. There's a big difference. But the more and more he talked to me about these things, aliens, other planets, I had some things happen to me, so they had to bang me pretty much on the head. People know what astral projection is. I was there. He came into my dream. So I couldn't really explain it, so I really had to listen. But am I glad that I listened? I didn't know I could paint, but I'm sketching, because that was one of my first messages. I knew nothing, so I thought about art, but it turned into I have 100 paintings today. I have things from previous lifetimes. How can I do that if I didn't open up? I followed it. Do I expect everybody to? No. But I do feel very passionate, because anybody that comes into my life, I will talk about this, because this is who I am. You can walk away and that's fine, but this is who I am today.
Sally, I got a question. Sometimes finding an answer to the questions you're looking for comes in combinations of meeting situations and people. So all of a sudden, there are answers to questions that you didn't even understand were coming at you, and you meet certain people, you meet certain circumstances, certain things happen, which begins to show you paths to your answer. So just because you don't have the answer today doesn't mean you won't have the answer tomorrow.
Tomorrow, absolutely, because I couldn't possibly, Aldo's expression to me was always little by little. And if he felt that he was teaching me too much on that particular day, he knew when to stop, because our mind it does get in the way, but some of it will sink in. And this is with anything. We can overload ourselves with that, but the most important is communication. Try and do your best to understand it. I don't do a lot of research. He used to, and he used to show me, but that's not who I am. I listen and I'll hear. But we all have I guess the answer to this is we all have the ability. It also depends on timing. Some people are just not ready. They're not ready. I can't make them ready. I can't save the world with my messages, and I'm not here to do that. But I am here because of his teachings and what I have brought into my life to share with. I guess the word is share with people. That's up to them where they want to go with it. But I'm here to share.
So what do you do with people who are naysayers or negative in your life?
Well, then that's okay. I am learning that. I have to accept that.
Well, what do you do with it?
Well,
What should one do with it? Better question.
if someone is negative in your life,
If somebody's negative in your life and just doesn't understand what it is, number one, that you want to accomplish or how you feel,
then you have to give up. Totally. I may not even be saying that, but I'm still in a trance. If someone doesn't want to hear, I can't tell you that I'm right. I'm right for me. And I'm right, hopefully, if I give other people messages, because how do I know this about them? So what I'm learning and what I hear, and if anybody enters my life and they have no interest, they probably don't want to be around me anyway. So let them walk away. That's fine. I don't mind. I have to not take that personally. I took it personally, but I seem to attract and meet people that are meant to be where I am. Again, I want to say I am not special, but the people that I find coming into my life today are meant to be there. We're all on this journey together. And that's what absolutely, I see it written in front of me. We are together. So the ones that are meant to be here at the Brooklyn Cafe, I have met, and you know that. How many people have I met here and continued and talked to them? I've met people that I haven't even seen again here, that I've had this type of conversation, and they have known what I'm talking about. Even if it's just for an afternoon, I met them somewhere along the way. I was meant to meet them. It may not be a lasting relationship. That doesn't matter. We met when we were meant to meet. And here is, to me, I'm going to call it magical because that's where I've met many people. And 2 magical people here.
Do you believe in magic?
I believe I believe in magic because I think all that we're doing is, it all starts with its imagination. And imagination is magic, actually. Because if we imagine something and we bring that about, be it an invention or whatever it is, how did that start? With imagination, which is actually magic when you think about it, because we're bringing it into existence through our imagination. I mean, I'm surprised when I listen back on my show. I'm being helped from, I have to believe that. Me as Sally, I don't know these answers, but I'm able to do it. And I can click in at any time when it's needed. And I'm very, which we started the show with gratitude. I'm very, very grateful for that. But I also realize that I can't make people believe and understand this. It's up to each individual to do that. But I surround myself here with positivity. That's very important to me.
Everyone's journey is different.
Yes.
Everyone's past life and what they bring to it is different. Can they shift their mindset? Say you're coming from a past life and there are things that weren't so great, as you know. Can we shift that going into this lifetime and remove some of those generational traumas?
Yes, because I think that's what it's all about. We're trying to get to that place. So I can't tell you the end of our journey where we show up because they're not going to even let me, and I wouldn't even understand it. But I know as we travel through each and every lifetime, we will bring things from that lifetime that we haven't settled in order to settle it. But you know what? Something else shows up. That's okay. Once we begin to learn that we're on a learning experience here, we're halfway there. Not completely, because we still have to get rid of it. But we're there. We've started our journey.
And you think everyone has a walking guide?
I believe everybody has a guide, yes, absolutely a guide. Not one, we have many. But we have to open up to that. And you know, when I began to, I was experiencing so many things that I could no more say it was coincidental. It was real. It was absolutely real. To me.
Go ahead.
I think I frightened Freddie away.
But no, it's totally changed you when you do your shows. The passion that you have of the guides and things that are happening, and things in life change. And I truly think that when you're here, you will, when she's here, you'll find what you love and what you don't, and it'll lead you to the next thing. We've had producers here that had hospitality, degrees in hospitality, and have gone on to win pageants, and now are in, one of them is in Yale Women's Program for graduate school. And you find a little bit more about who you are when you're surrounded by like-minded people.
And also it's very rewarding, because when you've given, or even my messages, I know that if I've given someone a message and they call me and they say, I don't do that enough, let me know if this came about, or are you on the right track? Just as you are with the producers that you have here, when you see that they've gone on to succeed. It's hard to explain, but you feel good. It's because we all are, and we've heard this saying, we're all part of one. But let's continue with that. Let's help people. Let's not let all this negativity. Right now, we're going through a shift. Can we see that shift? No, because there's so much trouble in the world today. Let's try, and I can't say, they say, well, forgive. Yeah, we can forgive, but we've still got to do something about this. Can one person change the world? No. But in mass, if we pray or we talk about it and lift that vibrational energy, hopefully, let's hope, because I can't tell you into the future, we're going into a dark place right now. And anybody that listens will say, oh no, obviously what's happening in the world is not good. But let's try and pull ourselves all together. Let's try and say, let's all be happy. Let's have our health. We have all these things, and it's not a perfect world, but let's strive for that if we can.
Back to our gratitude for Mother Earth. And you've astro projected to other places.
I have, to many, many planets. I brought this up 19 or 18, or it's now 19 years ago, and I thought, obviously, and I wrote about it because as I was traveling, I scribbled down when I woke up where I was, and it was very unacceptable, I believe. But as I've gone more into this, especially even since my show started, I've heard from many people that have had very, very similar experiences to me. I am writing another book, as you know. I do not feel bad at all about now presenting what has happened to me, because it's fear of the unknown. But when we begin to accept the unknown, we're more accepted and we'll more understand what's going on around us right now.
And what else are they telling you about how we should treat the earth, how we should treat each other?
With respect. Respect is a very big word, and that goes to anything that we do. We've got to have total respect within ourselves, to respect ourselves, and for each and everybody that comes into our life. Again, I'm not saying be wonderful and happy with everybody, because sometimes you just can't be. So if you respect yourself, you let that person go. I couldn't really understand that, but it's really important to know that, because you're not respecting yourself. Be aware of that, and you'll see situations and circumstances change around you.
So self-love and self-respect is?
It's everything, Dawn. It's everything, and gratitude. And for the people that come into your life that you feel that communication with, there is nothing better. There's nothing, I don't care what anybody says, there is nothing better when you can communicate on the level that you are with. And these people will come into your life, absolutely, once you believe this.
Pretty amazing, they do.
Yeah, they do,
All
they
right,
do.
I think we
we're
need to wrap
nearly
this
there,
up.
right.
All right,
Okay.
you can find Sally, you can email Sally at callmezena1111@gmail.com, or right here at the studio, 866-224-5422. Sally's available for readings, past life regressions, which we've never seen you do, which would be interesting to capture.
I've done them, but not
To
here.
capture that would be really amazing, or you can always message her for more information.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Happy
you very much.
Passover, Sally.
And the same to you, Dawn.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You have been watching Call Me Zena with your host, Sally Bernard. As an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer, know that you can always seek me out for resources by visiting artbysallybernard.com. Join us next week, Mondays at 2:30. Have a blessed day.